Welcome in, everybody.
Hello.
And this is another kind of special edition.
Happy New Year.
Yeah, Happy New Year, 2018.
Woo!
First That Movie Show
Of the new year.
of the new year.
Also, my mom's birthday.
Happy birthday, Mama Stryker.
Yeah.
There you go.
So
there's that.
Hooray. Hooray.
And today we're doing we've kind of broke format a couple times on the show.
Yes.
Last week we abandoned A Christmas Story because of the live performance of A Christmas Story, which kind of ruined it all for me, and I didn't want to muddy the classic, my favorite holiday movie ever, with that type of talk. And then we also did a Star Wars holiday special.
Still not recovered.
Still not recovered. Still drinking off that one. But while we're trying to stay topical, pop culture-y, as New Age pop does, we're gonna talk because we've now both seen it.
Correct.
Once.
Yes, I've only seen it once.
I'm looking forward to seeing it twice.
Yeah, I want to see it again.
Star Wars: LAST Jedi.
Yes, correct.
Yes. Right off the bat, general opinion, Liam. What do you think?
I really liked it. The thing that I think, you see the reaction online, and the initial reaction is that a bunch of people hate it. And
it depends on what pool you're looking at.
Right. I think that it's very divisive, I guess would be
It really is kind of one of those 50-50 type of movies where people either are really behind it and they're really going for what Rian Johnson is trying to do.
Right.
Or this movie, and of course Disney because they're behind it,
right,
has destroyed Star Wars and their childhood.
Yes. The funny
because this movie has, this has destroyed the childhood.
Right.
It's not the prequels.
It wasn't episode 1.
No, it wasn't episode 2. It wasn't
okay.
Sand is coarse between my fingers. You remember that?
Yeah.
Do you remember?
Oh.
Sand is
I don't
coarse.
like sand.
Sand is
It's
coarse.
And
Do
it
you
gets
fucking
everywhere.
remember episode 2?
Do you remember Jar Jar Binks?
Jesus Christ. Calm down, Star Wars people.
The big one, do you remember the holiday special? Because I just watched it.
Go back and listen to our very last episode. Last week.
Oh, God.
In the archives, as they say.
Yeah.
We watched it. There is part of Star Wars canon that is in the archives that is much worse.
Yeah.
Bizarrely worse.
So,
B. Arthur worse.
Yeah, B. Arthur worse. Very fun. I like that. That was a good one.
All right.
That was a good
Wookiee jacking off to Diane Carroll.
That was weird.
It's fucking
Jefferson
weird.
Starship.
13 million people watched that shit live.
I can't believe that.
Live in 1978. Back when televisions weren't even like common household devices.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, maybe. Who knows? The
I
other
wasn't
issue.
born.
The other issue with this is, we come from wrestling fandoms.
We do.
Like we do wrestling shows.
Yes.
And people know
We
us
do
from that.
multiple wrestling shows.
Yeah, we do multiple wrestling shows. And I see a lot of wrestling fandom in this reaction.
There's a lot of crossover
to the Star Wars fandom.
Yeah.
In the fact that when wrestling fans fantasy book a match or a storyline, everything to do with Bray Wyatt, or Roman Reigns, and when they don't get what they want, they throw a hissy fit.
Right.
Because it wasn't what they wanted. It wasn't the way they thought it should go. It wasn't the way that anything that they thought of was interpreted. So, therefore, it is terrible. It is garbage, and it must burn in a fire.
We are parking our cars in the same garage in this one, and we talked off air a little bit. And I think I kind of nailed the analogy. It's the kid who wakes up on Christmas morning,
super excited.
All excited. All he wanted for Christmas was a PlayStation 4 Pro.
Right.
And he got an Xbox One X.
Yeah. Right.
And Christmas is fucking ruined.
Right. Right. Because it
you know what I mean?
It was the same thing.
He got a black Lamborghini instead of a white Lamborghini is literally what's happening here. People, the same people who are complaining about The Last Jedi, I find, because of its differences
right.
to Star Wars, are the same people that complained about Force Awakens because of how similar it was to A New Hope.
Correct. Now that being said,
I think if you're listening, you kind of figured out Liam and I are kind of on the side of Last Jedi.
Yeah. I really like Last Jedi. But,
I enjoyed it.
But now, that being said, there are a bunch of things that I find to be very annoying.
It's not a perfect movie.
It's not a perfect movie.
No.
So if you didn't like it wholeheartedly, I think
I'm fine with that.
You're fine. That's okay. That being said, I think a lot of people's expectation was going in as if this was going to be Empire Strikes Back, and they didn't get that either.
But again, that would just be okay, I loved Force Awakens.
Yeah.
Okay. But I'm also realistic enough to acknowledge it covered many beats that A New Hope covered.
Yes.
Okay. If this was just paint by numbers Empire, I'd be like, all right, I get what they're doing. I'm going to enjoy the shit out of it, but I get it. This was a huge departure. I mean, Rian Johnson, God bless him, took such a leap of faith with where he's going with not only this Star Wars, but he's been contracted to do a whole trilogy.
Right.
That's going to be really... If you didn't like Last Jedi, strap the fuck in, because Rian Johnson has 3 more movies he's going to do.
Right. 4.
He's
got to finish this trilogy first.
Well, no, JJ has the next one.
Oh, JJ does have the next one?
JJ Abrams has episode 9.
All right. So
which that alone, it doesn't frighten me.
No.
I was going to say it frightens me because that instinctly you would think, okay, well, they got JJ to do the first one.
Right.
And it was very paint by numbers, New Hope.
Yeah.
Okay, they got this guy, Rian Johnson. He's taking a complete departure, and now they're going to take episode 9 and do just total fan service. But JJ was announced well before any of the audience backlash came about.
Right.
JJ was signed off for episode 9.
Or any of the decisions that The Last Jedi made.
Exactly.
The other thing, too, that people aren't going to take into account is that this was okayed. Right? Like, the script was okayed.
Above all else, what we can say about Disney and what they've done with not only Lucasfilms, but Marvel, is held extremely tightly to continuity and canon.
Correct.
They fired directors. The reason Ron Howard directed the Han Solo movie was because the original guys didn't follow their canon.
Right. And so it's going to be very interesting because
the Russo brothers and Marvel
are
a prime example. That's why Josh Whedon is no longer in Marvel.
Right. And so it'll be very interesting to look at where they go with episode 9, especially because of all of the decisions they made in 8. You know, there are so many big decisions, some I like and some that I don't like.
My feeling, my ultimate feeling was, and see, this is why I enjoy being myself on social media. Is I don't do spoilers,
right?
Okay, and something that me and my brother have talked about many times is we, and I've mentioned to you, we watch the first trailer,
yes,
and then we avoid everything.
Correct.
I mean, fucking everything. A TV commercial comes on, mute, and put my head down. I don't want to see it. I don't want to hear it. I don't care.
Right.
I want to go into these movies blind.
Right, and that's
because I want them to tell me a story.
Right, and that's how I feel too, because I feel like we've gotten to this place where the trailers have become too much, and you learn too much about these movies going into it.
Even if you don't learn anything, Rogue One is a great example where Rogue One's trailer had nothing to do with the movie.
Right.
It was because it was completely reshot. The trailers came out with all the original footage.
Right.
And the movie itself was reshot. So almost none of the footage from Rogue One ended up in the final product. So I don't want to have any, like, if there's a movie I really want to see, and Star Wars I hold very near and dear to my heart.
Yeah.
And I really want to see these movies. And I want to see them for what they are. I don't like, okay, so when my brother's going to see the movie next week, we're going to talk about it. We'll talk about it a little bit. What do you think's going to happen here? What do you think's going to happen there? What's going to? But we'll talk about it like once,
right?
And then we'll find out what happens in 2 years. We don't spend 2 years online speculating,
right?
And maybe we would get more YouTube hits if we actually did those videos, because I guess the Mace Windu is Snoke video has 40 million hits. I'm sure that guy has much Google money. Good for you.
Yeah, well, that's the.
But
yeah, that's a big issue with. But that's part of the issue.
But I don't do that shit.
No,
I don't delve into speculation. I don't deal with the any of that. Right. I go into it blind. I let the story, basically the biggest point, I let the storytellers tell me a fucking story.
Yeah.
Plain
right.
and simple.
Right, and that's how I feel too, where if you let the fans dictate what the story's going to be, then you get a movie in which everybody is like, oh, this was predictable and this was bad because it was predictable.
Imagine how many people, if they had done a paint-by-numbers Empire movie,
right,
totally called that.
Yeah,
like that would be everybody's criticism, because
this is predictable.
Ultimately,
this is stupid. It's formulaic.
Ultimately, social media in general, people in general, can't be pleased.
No,
you cannot. You cannot please the general public, because they already have the idea of what Christmas morning is going to be like in their head. And when you give them Christmas morning that's different than the Christmas morning in their head, it's fucked.
Yeah, no, you didn't make my Star Wars movie.
Right.
Therefore, this Star Wars movie is bad.
Sucks.
It's bad.
Blanket sucks.
It sucks. And
no redeemable qualities.
And it's like, that's unfair. You know, if your Star Wars movie was like, here's the deal. I don't know whether we planned on this or not, but I'm going to say it anyway.
Go for it.
Spoiler alert is now in effect.
Oh, okay. Now we're doing spoilers?
Well, there are going to be things that I'm going to start to touch on now that are going to reference the movie, and it's kind of crucial to the thing.
Maybe Bill will add an alarm or something for us. One of those. Spoiler alert. Now we're delving into spoilers. We've done the spoiler-free portion.
Right.
We did it as long as we possibly could.
Right. Because
Go for it.
Because here's the thing. You know, you look at a lot of the stuff that was online prior to this movie. Rey is Kylo's sister. Rey is Leia's kid. Leia's Luke's kid.
Yep.
Snoke is
She could be a Kenobi.
Yeah, she could be a Kenobi. Like, there's all of these things that Rey could have been, right? And the movie chose none of them.
No, her parents were drunken assholes that sold her for booze money.
Right, and some people that I've talked to
then died.
Right.
They're buried 20 feet away from where she's living.
Right.
They're buried in fucking Jakku, which is a dumpster.
Right. And the thing that somebody has brought up to me is like, well, what if he was lying? Well,
I thought that too. I thought that too.
And my answer to this is the franchise in which everything comes at face value. Vader says to Luke that he is his father, and that information is accepted and true.
Imagine if social media was a thing when Vader told Luke he was his father. How much would people hate Empire?
I mean, we can talk about how social media is ruining film and entertainment at a different juncture.
That's a whole other show.
But you're absolutely right.
That's the live show you're gonna have to come to.
Is that we're not allowed, because of social media, we're not allowed to enjoy plot twists because the speculation.
Unless you avoid them.
Right.
Unless you actually have the patience and the due diligence, like I did, to force yourself to not
ignore it,
right. And then go before it got spoiled.
Right. The idea is that nobody can actually, like, those people that hated the Vader twist were there when Empire came out. There are a contingent of people, I guarantee it, that when the movie came out hated the fact that Vader was Luke's father. Right? But those people didn't have a platform to all find each other. That's really what it all boils down to, is that
They literally had their immediate family to just bitch and moan about until they told him, dude, it's a movie. Shut up.
Right. But
shut up. You don't have 20,000 people to talk to.
Right, exactly. But now you have this. You have the internet to find like-minded people that are like, oh my god, I know. Oh my god, I know. That sucks.
Right.
And that's where we're at.
Right.
So, and the other thing too is you're building yourself up. I think a lot of people built themselves up to have a twist. There was going to be a twist in this movie, that there was going to be I am your father twist.
I walked into it, I'll be honest, and having actively, as I've mentioned many times, actively avoided any form of spoilers, any reviews, nothing. I didn't look at set photos. I didn't look at anything.
Yeah, nothing.
No interviews. I expected Luke or Rey to go hard dark.
Yeah.
Hard dark side.
Yeah.
I expected one of the two of them to go really dark side. And they teased it a little bit with Luke. And I was like, okay, so he's the one. But then they kept doing the which I thought one of the coolest additions to Star Wars canon, if you will, is the mind bridge, as Snoke called it.
Yeah.
Okay. So Rey and Kylo Ren can almost like FaceTime each other.
Yeah, they're connected.
They're basically FaceTiming each other through the Force. And I thought that was one of the coolest things that we haven't seen. Yeah. And that's the thing. People are pissed. A lot of people are pissed about stuff we haven't seen yet.
Right.
They're upset about Force activity that hasn't been introduced in the first 3 films.
Right.
And people aren't realizing it's literally like the Force is... I mean, it sounds so fucking stupid. The Force is infinite.
Right. It could.
You know what I mean?
Like
you don't know what the fuck. I mean, there was in the prequels. Okay, I know the prequels are almost blasphemous to talk about, but they are part of canon.
Yeah. And
there was Jedi in that circle where Yoda was talking, and he had Qui-Gon Jinn and Obi-Wan, and there was hologrammed
right
Jedi. Now we always assumed it was holograms.
Right. Who knows?
Maybe it wasn't.
Right. Well, the other thing too is
maybe all these times we've seen the Emperor or Snoke in holograms. It wasn't actually a hologram, but it was what the fuck Luke was doing.
Right.
We don't know that shit.
The other thing to think about too is that we've kind of seen the mind meld thing before, right? Because Luke and Vader were connected. They could feel each other. Obi-Wan Kenobi, but see, like Obi-Wan Kenobi and Vader could feel each other.
Right.
And so it's like, okay, well, maybe this is just that on another level.
We always felt that those were because of family.
Right.
Because Leia could feel Luke.
Right.
Vader could feel Luke. Luke could feel Vader, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah. But Obi-Wan, he could feel Obi-Wan, too.
He could, too.
So I think it's just whatever it is. I think that we've started.
We're just expanding shit,
right? It's expanding it, and I think that that's a positive thing, not a negative thing.
I absolutely agree.
You know, the big thing that comes from this movie, you know, because I said this to you before we started recording, is that the 2 issues that I have, and I think I said this on an episode of Be Heard, our New Age Insiders Patreon show, is that Lost and The Matrix fell into this trap that they both looked at all of the fandoms, that they had message boards and they were very, very passionate about everything that they had going on. And they took all of the stuff that those fandoms had as ideas and took all of them and threw them into the movies. And it became convoluted messes on both sides.
So the back end of Matrix, back end of Lost, you're saying turned into fan service 100%.
Right, and it was fan service in a very, very convoluted and messy way, where it just totally fell apart because there's conflicting ideas, and it didn't feel original because you took all of these well-known fan theories and then just made it.
Here's my problem with all of that is if fan theories were so good, then these fans would be being paid as screenwriters.
Right. You're absolutely right.
I mean, I have great ideas. I'm not writing movies for Hollywood.
Right.
No matter how much I'd like to. You know what I mean?
You are absolutely correct.
You know what I mean? It's like I have wonderful ideas for where we can take Luke now that he's spoiler, I guess. Now that he's dead,
Right.
I have great places we could take him, but I'm not the one being paid
to do
it.
Right.
So I'm not. So as a viewing, as an audience member,
Yep.
I'm not trying to be like, my way is obviously the only way.
Correct.
Because it's not. I'm not the one telling the fucking story. It be like you said, both we come from wrestling and movie backgrounds. We come from those communities where, I guess for lack of a better term, we feel that the entertainment that is being provided to us should be catered to our brainwaves.
Right.
We should be dictating what is happening on our television as opposed to the storytellers dictating what we're actually seeing. And it's always been one of those fucked up things that, like, wrestling has always been a constant because Star Wars is relatively new in the relapse, if you will.
Right.
You know, we've only had a few years of new Star Wars, but wrestling has been a constant for the last 30 years where it's like people are like, oh yeah, if it doesn't go my way,
Yep. Then it's wrong.
then it's wrong.
And that's unfair.
It's bonkers.
It's unfair.
That's not even unfair. That's just fucking bonkers to think about.
Oh, it absolutely is. And, the big one for me is that we spent all this time, and I know that a lot of the fan energy was spent into who is Snoke.
Roman Reigns is great.
Yes. Yes. But we've spent a lot of time in who is Snoke. Who is Snoke?
2 years.
Yeah.
Okay. Here's the thing. Okay. So let's get into specifics. Okay. Because we've tiptoed around enough of it. Specifics are there were 3 things that Rian Johnson literally took his middle finger and stuck it up to the fans. First one came out. Luke taking the lightsaber, throwing it over his shoulder.
Yep.
Right out the bat.
Yeah.
Because
see, and that's the funny thing is as somebody who loves cinema, I saw that and I go, oh, this is the type of movie we're doing.
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
Oh, this is what we're doing.
Exactly.
Oh, okay.
We are taking what you thought was going to happen and we're doing the complete opposite.
Complete opposite.
So okay, we're taking a lightsaber. 2 years of build-up. The extended arm. Here is the lightsaber. Your father's lightsaber. What are you going to say? What are you going to do? Big fucking cliffhanger. Meh.
Yeah.
Fuck that. I'm going back to my cave. Okay. 2. Snoke.
Yep.
Snoke.
Who is he?
Who is Snoke?
Who is he?
He is the supreme leader
Of the First Order.
He is the all-powering. He controls Kylo Ren. He controls fucking everything. And even in this movie, we see him wield force power that we haven't seen.
Yeah. Right.
And dead.
Dead. Very unceremoniously.
Sliced the fucking half.
Yeah.
Now, some will say that he should have been able to, because he could see things.
Right.
He could see into minds. Some will say that he should have been able to see Kylo Ren turning the lightsaber to slice him in half. However, if you watch closely and you take your blinders off, what Kylo Ren was doing with the Anakin lightsaber, if you will.
Yeah.
Okay, the blue lightsaber. was exactly what Snoke was telling him to do with his lightsaber. Right. I'm going to have him turn it and ignite it and slice you in half. Right. So he was
actually doing
so
everything.
Kylo Ren actually is proving himself to be a more powerful mental Jedi. Okay, or Sith Lord, or whatever we're going to call them. Whatever we're calling them in the future. Okay, so there's that. 3, possibly the biggest one.
Yep.
Rey's parents.
Yeah. They're nobody.
There is so many instances in this movie where they're like, "Oh, we're gonna see it. We're gonna see it," and again, going into it blind, I'm on the edge of my seat. I will say that above all else, this movie excelled in building tension.
Yes.
Every single scene. It was 2.5 friggin' hours. It was a long movie.
Yes.
But I never felt tired.
Nope.
I never was looking at my watch.
There was a few instances, and we'll get to those in a second, where I wasn't engaged.
There was a longer scene. I think one scene above all else was longer than most, but we'll get there. But above all else, they kept building tension, and they were great at building tension. Where there was moments where I was just like, I was literally holding my chest, like, Jesus, is this okay? Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That type of shit. So with Rey's parents, of course, it was the mirror scene.
Yep.
Where there was like 47,000 Reys.
Of her.
And then it turns out to be her. Okay, we don't get a reveal there. But again, that was like, oh shit, they're gonna do it. They're gonna do it. And I'm sitting in my head, because I haven't read anything, I haven't heard any reviews, no fucking spoilers. I'm like, it's gonna be fucking Ewan McGregor.
Yeah,
that was exactly what I was thinking, because I was of a mindset in my head that she was a Kenobi.
Yeah, because
and I'm like, it's gonna be fucking Ewan McGregor, and that's gonna be fucking weird and awesome and wow.
It's funny because that's the only person it could have been at that point,
right?
Because you look at it, if she was Leia's kid, right? She has had enough face-to-face time with Leia up until that point that she would have pulled her aside and said, "Hey, by the way," you know what I mean? Like
you say that. But it took Vader 2 years.
But Vader also did it at the first chance he had.
That's true, actually.
He never actually had a face-to-face altercation with Luke until that moment. Okay. And so she sits down with Han, right? She's having several heartfelt moments with Han.
There was a lot of moments in this movie, especially in their Force Bridge, I guess is what we're calling it.
Right.
Where I absolutely thought that there was going to be a Luke and Leia type of thing with Kylo and Rey, where they were going to awkwardly make out and then become
brother
twins,
and sister, right?
And again, part of that is me having prior knowledge, because in the novelizations
they are the
Han and Leia have
they're
twins
based off of.
Yes.
The characters that they are based off of.
Han and Leia have twins.
I've had that conversation before where it's like they're original characters, but
I'm glad they didn't do it.
But they're based off of
yes.
They're based off. Both of their characters are very based off.
I have read very few of the novelizations of Star Wars, but some of them, the ones I have, had them as twins.
Right.
And honestly, I'm glad they didn't.
Right. I'm glad they didn't either. The other one has to be the fact that, and it can't. She couldn't have been Luke's kid because she spent all that time on the island with Luke. And if we were going to have the
right,
how did you get this? Why did the lightsaber?
It would have happened right away.
It would have happened to you right away. I'm really sorry I shipped you off on a planet and then came to hang out. One thing that nobody's talking about in this movie that Luke says in a passing comment that is getting no play is how he goes,
Have we established how nothing her parents are, by the way?
Yeah.
Before we move on to Luke?
Sorry.
Her parents are absolutely nothing. They're literally garbage. They're drunken garbage who sold her for booze money and then died and were buried in Jakku, if we haven't established that before. Okay.
Yeah.
Go on.
Good. So Luke says at one point where he's saying which they did a great job in making Kylo Ren so very sympathetic. In fact, that that Luke was going to kill him. Luke was going to murder him.
Yeah.
And that is why Kylo did what he did.
And that's a huge problem with fans.
Right. And it's like
Luke's confliction is a giant problem with fans. And my argument is
Luke is
you don't know what's happened in those 30 years between Jedi and Kylo Ren becoming a 20-year-old.
Well, and the other thing to think about too is Luke Skywalker, out of all of them, is the most two-dimensional of all of the characters in Star Wars. So this is the first piece of three-dimensional gray that we've had with the Luke Skywalker character.
He's always been the corn-fed good boy.
the meat white baby face.
Well, the white meat baby face, absolutely.
You know what I mean? And so, because the idea is you look at not Empire, you look at the end of Jedi, right? Luke is the ultimate good, and then Palpatine is the ultimate evil.
Right.
And Anakin brings balance to the Force because he's in the middle.
Right.
So that's why where you look at Luke Skywalker, this is the first moral gray area that he's crossed into. When we meet Han Solo, we meet him, right? Han Solo, he's
Stone Cold Steve Austin.
He kills a guy. He just straight up murders a dude.
He is the most gray of gray areas ever.
Right. And
he's like, we're supposed to like this guy, but he straight up murders a dude.
Right. 5 seconds into meeting him. And it's like,
justified.
Very justified.
Justified. Scoundrel to scoundrel.
Yeah, right.
Justified.
Very justified. But, you're looking at it, and this is the first time. But he says when Luke is talking about this moment, he talks about how Kylo Ren burned down the Jedi Temple, murdered a bunch of people, and ran off with the rest.
Oh, yeah.
And so what I want to know is where the hell are the other Jedi that are...
I have the answer.
So that's very interesting.
I have the answer.
That's probably the most interesting thing to come out of this movie.
Okay, I have the answer.
Is that
I know where the Knights of Ren are.
Where are they?
They are the Red Guards in Snoke's temple.
Oh, okay.
Those are them.
Oh, see, that's unfortunate because he murdered all of them.
No, it's a weird, and there is a line. I forget exactly where it is, but there is a line that connected those dots. But those Red Guards in Snoke's temple are the Knights of Ren that he took with him from the Jedi temple.
Okay, yeah.
There you go.
That's unfortunate.
So, I'm sorry to bust your bubble on that one.
See, that's unfortunate because I was hoping there was just a secret army of Sith Lords.
Just weird fucking quasi Sith Lords just kind of floating about. No, it's not. They're all dead now.
That's too bad.
Ray and Kylo cut all their heads off.
Yeah, they did.
In one of the best battle sequences probably ever.
Yeah, it was great. It was fantastic.
But again, it posed that weird conflict that was, are they related? Because he did that, he did what basically Anakin did at the end of 3, where it was like, come rule the galaxy with me.
Right.
Be my queen type of thing. But all the while you're like, oh, she's like, but she's with the Force. So you guys are probably kind of like weirdly Kentucky related.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, I also like if they're not.
They cleaned it up because they made you realize that not just Skywalkers are with the Force.
Right.
Even though there are prequels
with a bunch of them,
with a shitload of people with the Force.
Yeah.
I mean, Anakin is not the only Force sensitive motherfucker around the galaxy.
Yeah, right.
So, but with the let's get into the casino scene.
Yeah, because
that's where we meet the next, I guess the next realm of Jedi people.
The crop.
Thank you. The next crop of Force sensitive kids.
Yeah. Well, so I hated that plot line. I was not a fan of it, just because the A story was so focused on the one ship in that chase sequence, and that was it, right? Like that was what really annoyed me, is that it was like, oh, so we're gonna break these people off of the ship. And then they're going to go to this intergalactic space casino, talk about how the rich people are really lame and stupid.
There was parts of it I didn't mind. There was elements of it, and again, it was very Tony Starkish.
Yeah.
It was very much, Iron Man 1 was basically the plot of this movie.
Yeah.
You sell
arms.
Excuse me.
Weapons
to the enemy, but you also sell them to the good guys.
Yeah, right.
That was the point of this. God damn it. Excuse me. But it went on too fucking long.
It did.
That was my problem. I wouldn't have minded it because it was almost like the second they got to the planet, I was like, oh my God, this looks like the prequels.
Yeah.
That was the first thing I thought.
Yeah.
The first thing I fucking thought was, oh my God, this looks like the prequels. And it went on far too long.
Yeah.
They could have cut 10 minutes out of it, shortened the runtime to about 2 hours tops.
Right.
And had a pretty solid movie. It did introduce us to Benicio del Toro's character, who is this generation's Lando Calrissian.
I was going to say, this is what Han would be like if he was actually just a dickhead.
Yeah, no, I wholeheartedly believe. I mean, and it's not an uncommon trait as I've read and seen on YouTube and stuff. But look at what Benicio del Toro does to them, and it's basically what Lando does in Empire.
Right.
Without the redemption part.
Yeah.
He hasn't had that moment yet, but I'm guessing he signed on for more than one movie.
Yeah. Or
that
was it.
If it is, that's fucking weird as shit because
yeah, right.
You don't just sign on a Benicio del Toro for one movie just to do that.
To be fair, he's just the collector in Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, but he could show up again.
I mean, he's shown up like
he's not dead.
Yeah, he's not dead.
He's not dead, and he's still part of the Guardians universe. And I mean, Infinity War is just going to be bonkers.
Yeah,
it's going to be all over the friggin' place.
Yeah, it is.
But I believe not only that. I mean, you got Just Throw.
Yep.
Who's a known actor.
Yeah.
Now, granted, he could have just been doing a day part.
Yeah.
Right. No argument about that. And I honestly, I'll be straight up. I didn't recognize. It was one of those guys. I'm like, who the fuck is that guy? And then I saw his Instagram and I recognized it was him.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was him until I saw his Instagram. But I don't believe Benicio del Toro's character is done.
Yeah.
Especially because they didn't name him in the movie, but they gave him a name in the credits.
Okay.
He was DJ in the credits.
Okay.
Now I know that has something to do with his hat or some shit. It's a slogan. But either way, I don't believe he's done.
Yeah.
Personally. I do believe that planet was a bit obnoxious.
It was.
For probably, what was it, 15, 20 minutes?
Right. Well, and because it led to the, I don't like the rich people. Rich people are terrible. It reminded me of sand and how coarse and terrible sand is.
But there is that... I didn't mind completely the people because it's a galaxy.
Yeah.
We as fans tend to forget that it's a galaxy. It's not just one planet.
Right.
It's not just one country.
Yeah.
There's a vast amount of people in this universe.
Right.
And I didn't mind that much because it did add an extra layer. It looked extremely like the prequels, which bothered me.
Yep.
The weird fucking big llama chase at the end
Yeah.
went on far too long.
Oh, I know.
The fact that it went on at all was kind of annoying, but it went on way too fucking long.
Yeah.
Like, they could have cut 5 minutes easy out of that.
Oh, easily.
And ultimately, and I think the biggest problem I have with all of it is it led to fucking nothing.
Oh, yeah.
Nothing.
Yep.
Nothing.
Yeah, because they
get on the Star Destroyer.
And then he screws them over.
He double crosses them, and they still have nothing.
Yeah, because they just still end up on the ship.
It ends. The only thing it does is brings us to an extra Phasma scene.
Yeah.
Which Phasma, and I know I'm not alone in this, has been the most underutilized character and actress in the entire fucking franchise.
Oh, I know. It's so funny. Well, she's reached Boba Fett levels for me.
She has. But she reached Boba Fett levels on the first promo.
Right.
Like, the suit alone. But the problem is, they've done nothing with her. Like, at least Boba Fett, was kind of like a badass, a seclusive badass. I don't know if that's the right word.
Yeah, he didn't do anything either.
He didn't do anything, but he was there and not getting his ass kicked every time.
Yeah, right.
She's gotten her ass kicked every time. Seclusive is not a word.
Reclusive?
Reclusive, maybe. Seclusive is definitely not a word.
Yeah.
But Boba Fett, while he didn't really do anything, he was there.
Right.
And he was pushing forward. Like, in Empire, he was the one that took Han away in Carbonite.
Yeah.
Like, he was working for Jabba.
Yeah, right. He had a point to being there.
Right. And he didn't get his ass kicked.
Yeah.
She has been thrown in a garbage chute.
Yep.
And presumably killed in this movie.
Yep.
Now, granted, we never saw her die. She could come back again.
Well, that's the funniest thing is that I would love for that to be her bit, is that she is unkillable. She's unkillable, but she keeps getting tossed into these very...
She just does nothing and just keeps getting dumped over into nothingness.
Yeah. Until she turns. And then she's going to be a good guy.
Bullshit.
Yeah,
bullshit. That's terrible.
Yeah, that's terrible.
That's awful.
That is bad.
That is awful. She is like the head stormtrooper.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I know. It was dumb.
Which is why it's kind exactly. Which is why it's that I guess that is my biggest gripe with the movie. Is her treatment. And not even like the fact that the fight scene happens. Like, I would have rather not seen her.
Oh yeah, right.
You know what I mean? Like, I know she's not dead.
Yep.
I'd rather not see her.
Right.
Or because ultimately, most of the Finn story is my biggest gripe with the movie.
Yeah.
While most people have a huge problem with Luke and the Force and all the other bullshit, I'm like, why is Finn's story a part of this? It is the most insequential thing. Right.
Well, he's the
he's not even the comic relief. Don't even try to say that shit.
No, he's definitely not.
He's absolutely not. The Porgs are.
Oh, yeah. They were adorable.
I love the Porgs.
They were adorable. I thought they were going to be lame, and they were adorable.
Exactly. And they were just subtle enough to be effective.
Yeah.
They in my opinion, the Porgs were the Star Wars version of Baby Groot.
Yes. Yeah.
They were just effective enough.
Right.
You know, them and what was the when Rey and Luke were on the planet and she kept like dumping shit onto the workers.
Yeah, right.
I don't know what they were called.
They were like the Temple Maidens.
Yeah, exactly. Basically, Luke's slaves.
Yeah, right.
On his island.
You're the last Jedi, so there we go.
Yeah, exactly. But those two were, I thought, absolutely hilarious.
Right.
They were the comic relief, not Finn.
No, Finn's definitely not the comic relief. It's tough because, it's this weird story where he's a reform. Like, I feel like he hit a good arc, and we kind of completed.
He was great in Force Awakens.
Right, and I think that we finished that arc. Because
also, the timeline, that reminds me about the timeline. The timeline is all fucked up.
Yeah.
Okay? Because theoretically, there's a part in it where we're picking up right after Force Awakens.
Right.
Because Rey has a lightsaber.
Yep.
Handing it to Luke. That is moments after the end credits roll.
Correct.
Finn wakes up after having his spine severed.
Yeah. Was that it?
I mean, he had his spine severed by a lightsaber, and that's why he was in the bubble bath.
Right. Okay.
And then all of a sudden, he just wakes up. And now, again, I don't know. I would love somebody to articulate the timeline. Maybe things happen differently in the Star Wars universe.
Yeah.
But if it's all happening at the same time, he literally just woke up out of his space coma.
Yeah.
Moments later.
Oh, yeah. Well, I feel...
And also, the whole fucking Empire fight.
Yeah.
Has happened moments
After
Rey, like they're all having a good time on the resistance.
The resistance base.
Rey takes off, lands on Luke's planet.
Yep.
Gives him the lightsaber.
Yeah.
Hell on earth.
Yeah. So I think
the entire first order has rebuilt itself.
Yes.
They blew up their fucking planet.
Right. So I think that the timeline is that they bring them back because they have they find the map, like R2-D2 shows up and all that stuff at the end of Force Awakens. So then Finn is in the bubble bath, so his recovery starts there. Mm-hmm. And then everything that happens when she goes to the planet is happening alongside the First Order getting their shit together, attacking the base, and everybody taking off. So
we're kind of on a shifted time schedule.
Yeah. So they showed you.
So almost as if the Rey Luke stuff is flashbacks.
Yeah. Well, no. So
or flash forwards.
So basically, they don't. She takes off. Right, her and Chewie decide to take off.
Right,
and then we follow what she's doing, and then we don't see what's happening on the First Order. I mean, on the Resistance end of things.
Right.
So then, when we come back, we see what happens back, and then they catch up. I'll draw it out.
I'm gonna go with you on that one.
I'll draw it out for you.
By the way, we didn't mourn Han at all.
No.
Nobody.
Well, I mean, I don't think we're gonna.
There was a couple of.
Yeah, Leia's sad and
downward looks, and Luke is like, "What happened to Han?"
Yeah.
Really? That's fucking it?
Yeah, Leia's sad about it. Rey's sad about it.
That shows how much of a scumbag Han Solo was.
Right.
I mean, let's be honest. Nobody gives a shit he's dead.
Yeah. No.
None.
No. And then we're talking about nobody cared about Luke either.
No.
Nobody cares about Luke.
No. Well, a lot of them probably didn't know he was actually dead yet.
Right. Well, he's been missing for so long.
Well, they were looking for him.
Yeah.
I mean,
people
not
just,
too fucking
assume,
hard. I mean,
I just assume people.
Some old dude on whatever planet was
Jakku.
He had a flash drive.
Yeah, Jakku. He had a flash drive.
He had a flash drive with a Google map being like, just connect this.
To the one R2's got.
USB BB-8 to R2-D2, and you got Luke.
Yeah, you'll get a Luke.
It's not hard.
It's like MapQuest.
Yeah, it's literally.
It's like MapQuest.
It's even easier than that.
Yeah.
So let's get to Luke and the end.
Yes.
Loved it.
Yeah.
Loved it. I loved again. Another subtle moment where I think the director was telling us to go fuck ourselves.
Right.
Because the trailer had the shots of the speeders with the red dust floating up, and that was a huge thing online. When people were
of course it was.
Like, what is that? What's the red shit?
Yeah.
And literally, as soon as they get there, a fucking random ass dude just kind of goes, "Oh, it's salt."
Oh, it's salt.
It's like,
right.
Fuck you. Your theories mean nothing.
Right. And it's so much better that way.
Your theories mean
It's so
nothing.
much better that way. Jesus.
I loved it. I absolutely loved it. But so we get to basically Hoth 2.0.
Yep. We get to Hoth 2.0, where they're going to make their last stand.
Mm-hmm.
Now, probably the best thing to come out of this film is the fact that for the first time, he's in charge. Like, the head Jedi that we all are like, oh my god, he's the bad guy.
Is he though?
Yeah, Kylo Ren is...
Kylo Ren. I think you meant Luke.
Yeah, no. Kylo Ren is...
Oh my god, I loved... Oh my god, I loved him taking over.
Right. And so now, like...
Him taking over and Hux being his fucking bitch boy?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Right.
Awesome.
And so you look at it, and Kylo Ren is the supreme leader. Like
because he so shouldn't be.
Right, there's that. But Darth Vader was never the Emperor.
No.
And we never got that.
No.
And even in A New Hope, he's under Tarkin, kinda.
Yeah.
You know, so we've never had the badass Jedi be the guy.
There's going to be so many mistakes made.
Right. And so having Kylo Ren now be the petulant child that's in charge is awesome.
Right.
Is awesome.
I loved him taking over, and especially with the Hux thing, it was like, oh, no, the Supreme Leader. No, you're my bitch now.
Yeah, right. I'm the Supreme
and
Leader.
And he did. He buckled.
Yeah.
Hux
is a bitch.
Hux buckled. Like, Donald Gleason's character arc in this movie is so severe.
Right.
Like, it's like, oh my god, you went from, like, being badass deck pilot,
right,
or, you know, the commander, the guy running shit, the guy telling people, fire on that ship, to all of a sudden, 2.5 hours later, you're here.
Yeah.
And you're like, what can I do, sir?
What do you need me? What do you need me for?
Can I have some more power, sir?
Yeah. Oh, man.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Such a great character arc.
Yeah. And then for them to want to destroy everything, and, you know, this is my issue now because it kind of comes up.
Sure.
The resistance at this point is 5 people. Like, it's like 5 people.
Well, at the end of it. We haven't blown the door out yet, so there's still about 15.
Oh, yeah, right. They try to mount an assault.
Here's the thing. A bunch of fucking people die.
Yeah, there's a lot of people.
So many good guys die in this movie.
Yeah.
Like in the first scene, 30 people die.
Oh, so many people.
Including Leia, almost.
Yeah, including
We didn't even talk about that.
I know. Well, because she's not dead.
The Mary Poppins Leia scene, we didn't even talk about.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like that was really stupid.
I'm with you completely. It was one of those things like, and I know we said it off air. When I loved the moment building up to it.
Right.
I loved Ben Solo in his fucking fighter coming at his mother.
Right.
And resisting.
Well, because he's so morally gray. He doesn't hate her. Right, or at least he doesn't want to hate her because
he has the conflict.
But because
the conflict the Jedi speak of.
But because the thing that this movie has told us about Kylo Ren and reveals to us later in this movie is that all of the important adults in Kylo Ren's life, or in Ben Solo's life, have abandoned him. His parents abandoned him to send him to Luke. Luke tried to murder him. And so Snoke is the really only adult that he's ever known that has, whether it's for his own ambition or not, has wanted to help him and be there for him. You know, so it's like, yeah, I don't want to murder my mom, but this is what I got to do because the one guy that I do care about wants me to.
Tells me to.
Right.
Right. But he didn't.
Yeah.
He didn't.
And somebody else did.
But somebody else did. And in the moment, watching it in the theater,
right,
and again, having the knowledge that Carrie Fisher is dead,
yeah,
I was like, okay, I'm good with this.
yeah,
I'm good with it. This is how they're gonna write our princess off.
right.
I'm good with it. Like 15, 20 minutes later, she Mary Poppins her asses out of space and flies to the spaceship.
Yeah. Yeah.
The fuck?
Yeah. The fuck you say?
Like she flies through space.
Right.
Now, I'm one to be open about what the Force is,
Yeah.
and all the things we haven't seen with the Force. But what this tells me, and here's the problem I have with it. It's not that she can fly. It's not that she can do the Mary Poppins thing from outer space to a fucking spaceship and be brought in. That's telling me Princess Leia is indestructible.
Right.
She got blown the fuck up.
Right.
Blown up.
Right.
Boom.
Now,
Boom. Boom.
the only other thing that I could think of is what if Kylo Ren pushed her back in?
But he didn't.
Right.
He did. No.
Yeah.
There would have been a scene
Right.
where he would have been doing the weird little
Yeah, like the
thing.
Yeah. No. Just,
no.
Yeah.
She woke the fuck up, pointed at that ship,
and just went to it.
and magnetically went to it.
Right.
She is indestructible,
Yeah.
which poses a huge problem for Episode 9 because
How do you kill her? She can't
Carrie
be in the movie.
Fisher is dead.
Yeah, she can't be in the movie.
She cannot.
Mm-hmm.
Now, granted, as we spoke off air, I have no problem with them doing the Rogue One digital Carrie Fisher face.
I'm also okay with them just recasting, but that's me.
I see. I'm less comfortable with that because that means that it's going to continue.
Yeah.
I'd rather they digitally did her face and killed her.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, I had accepted.
Right.
When she got blown out of that cockpit.
Yeah, you were like, this is
I had accepted that Princess Leia was done.
Yeah.
Tear. Done.
We got over it.
Done.
Yeah.
Moving on.
Right.
Now, we're kind of in a pickle.
A little bit. It'll be interesting to see
because
what
we
we do.
killed Luke.
Yeah, because we killed Luke instead.
We fucking killed Luke instead of Leia.
I know. Oh God. So it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see where 9 goes.
So let's get to Luke showing up in hologram form. He went all Tupac on us.
Yeah, he went Tupac. He also used Rogaine on the way.
Okay, so here's the thing. Okay, so I don't know exactly how to pose it. I couldn't have been the only one that realized all the telltale signs that wasn't the real Luke.
Yeah, the clothing was different.
He had the black beard, the short hair,
Right.
the fucking blue lightsaber.
That was the telling one for me. I'm a weird stickler where it comes for
Here's what I
his
didn't notice.
lightsabers never match.
The one I didn't notice, but was pointed out to me online, when he was walking out onto the plane, if you will,
Right.
his footprints weren't reading red.
Oh, okay.
So everything that touched the ground
Was kicking up red.
was kicking up red
and he wasn't.
because he was a hologram. He wasn't.
Right.
That I didn't notice. That
didn't
one
notice
the
that.
internet told me, and fair fucks to the internet. I did not pick up on that one. Again, I'm going to see it again.
Right.
I'm going to see it again. But absolutely, the second he comes around the corner, I'm like, why is this
Why are you
flashback
different?
Luke?
Yeah,
Because
why
it was.
It was.
It was flashback Luke. It was a one that whenever he would tell the story
About
of Kylo Ren, of attempting to kill Kylo Ren, he had the black beard,
yeah.
the short hair. But what fucked with me was he didn't have the green lightsaber.
That
He
was
had the
the
blue
one.
light. And I'm like, what the fuck is
Because
happening?
Rey has that.
It had broken.
Oh, that's right. It broke.
It had broken at that point.
Yeah, that's right. It got
It was
broken
split in
half.
two.
Yeah.
Not to mention, he gave Leia the dice,
Right.
which now hardcore YouTubers have pointed this out, that the dice have been in the past movies. If you look really fucking,
I would also imagine that I wouldn't.
if you look,
fight it.
Here's where I'm going with this. If you look really close in certain scenes,
You can see the dice.
of the Millennium Falcon cockpit, you can see the dice. My guess is, okay, and okay, before I even get to my point, the dice apparently in the novelizations are the dice that Han Solo used to win the Millennium Falcon from Lando Calrissian.
Okay.
Which tell me that the reason they were so heavily promoted in this movie are because they're going to come into play in the Solo movie.
Gotcha.
Because he's probably going to use those dice
Yeah, that makes
to
sense.
win the Millennium Falcon from Lando
Right.
Calrissian.
Yeah.
That's
checks out.
they're pulling their canon together.
Yeah, checks out.
That's exactly it. But the fact that they disappear, because Kylo Ren walks in, if you remember,
Right, and
at the end, picks them up,
And they
and
evaporate.
they evaporate. I'm not. There's certain things I'm just like, I get it if Luke was a hologram to his sister, but
I
but
think-
if she just, I mean, first of all, would she have just fucked off those dice?
Yeah, I don't know.
Why wouldn't she have kept them?
I think the only
They were part of Han.
I think the dice too were just to let Kylo know that he died.
I think the dice were just to fucking promote the Solo movie. To
well,
be honest,
right, but I think it also helps him. I think it also helps like let Kylo know, like, oh, he died.
now the battle scene,
Yeah.
the end battle scene, because if nothing else, The Last Jedi had epic battle scenes.
Yes.
From Jump Street,
Yes.
from the absolute opening credits to the closing credits, unbelievable battle scenes. But let's get to the end battle scene. You have AT-AT walkers.
Yep.
Kylo Ren's ship, his demonic wing ship, just kind of hovering.
Yeah.
And Luke Skywalker walking out,
Yeah.
badass,
Oh yeah, it was so
looking badass, looking all like Grecian male, fucking beard trim,
Yeah,
nice.
Hair Club for Men.
Absolutely awesome. Fire every cannon
Adam.
at him.
Yeah.
Best fucking line ever. Fire every. I mean, it was one of those things like, even in a Star Wars movie, I would have loved Kylo Ren to say, fire every fucking cannon we have.
Yeah.
I mean, I would have bought it because it's PG-13, so you
get one.
You get one. You get one.
To be cool.
I would have loved him to have his be cool moment and have him just be like, fire every fucking cannon we have, because they did.
They did. Oh yeah, they did. Holy crap, they did.
Every single cannon was fired onto Luke Skywalker, and he comes out
Yeah, because he's a hologram.
and dusts his fucking shoulder off.
Yeah, just because it would have made it just makes him so mad.
Oh, absolutely, because he knew what was that was going to do. Bring Ben Solo down.
Yeah,
Bring him down.
right.
1-on-1. And it was all to
Let them escape.
absolutely.
Right.
I mean, it was the fucked up thing was everybody thought that this was going to be Empire, and it kind of ended up being, but it was literally the end of The Last Jedi was the opening of Empire.
Right.
So we're kind of a little fucked up on this one, because we're now starting a bit behind the 8 ball.
Right.
With them escaping the Hoth planet,
right,
or now whatever the salt planet was, I forget the name. In the end of the movie,
right,
which I don't completely mind.
No, well, I'm also okay with these movies not being formulaic and just following the same pattern.
I don't mind them.
You know what I mean? Tell me a different story.
I don't mind them not being trilogies.
Right, because the thing about it, the thing about these movies or the thing about movies in general is that the reason why sequels work is not plot-based, but character-based.
Right.
I want to have interesting characters that I follow,
right,
as opposed to an interesting plot that I don't, that becomes repetitive, i.e. The Hangover. The first Hangover, really good.
Awesome.
Second Hangover was the same friggin' movie. It was terrible.
Third Hangover was actually pretty good.
I didn't see it.
It was actually pretty good.
Yeah, I bet
See,
it was.
that's the problem. Nobody's seen the third Hangover,
right?
Because the second Hangover was so terrible.
Yeah, right. Sounds about right.
Third Hangover was actually pretty decent because it was a wildly different approach.
Maybe we'll have to do the third Hangover.
We will do the third Hangover, but this one, I don't feel that. Even though we as an audience have been set up to view these movies as trilogies,
right?
I don't think they are. I think Disney is just going forward with this is our story. We're not ending our story at 9. Kylo and Rey might still be fighting in 10 or 11.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, shit might still. I mean, like I said, it feels if we're drawing back into the paint by numbers thing. The end of what are we at 8?
Yeah.
The end of 8 is actually the beginning of 6. 5?
5.
Whatever Empire was.
Yeah.
5. So we're still pushing forward.
Yeah.
We still have a lot of story to tell.
Oh, yeah.
Who the fuck is Benicio del Toro?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
He's still.
And what's that kid that at the end of the movie?
There's a whole bunch of stuff.
Oh, yeah. There's a ton of stuff to unpack there.
A bunch. That's exactly what I said. This movie has so much to unpack. Rey, at the end, feeling her force powers.
And just moving all of them.
Moving all the rocks. So that the entire, well,
all 5 of them,
all 5 or 6 of the resistance or rebellion now, because we've gone back to rebels.
Yeah, right.
Can now run to the Millennium Falcon. Finn and Rose, I just don't like though.
I think they're fine.
As characters, I like them.
Yeah.
I just thought their storyline really deterred from a lot of the story.
Yeah. Yeah.
As far as like, because it's weird because my nitpicks and my gripes with this movie have nothing to do with the general consensus, like the Luke Skywalker, the Force, the it's like, no. Finn and Rose were really wasted and annoying.
Yeah.
It's like they had a huge chunk of time in that casino scene. That llama chase was obnoxious and
like rich people.
Way too long. Like, I didn't mind the casino for 5 minutes.
Yeah, right.
But then it was like, okay, here's 20 minutes of the casino. Here's another 10 minutes of them doing a llama chase.
Oh, it was awful.
All because they just didn't want to move their speeder?
Right.
They parked it on the beach.
Right.
That's it.
Well, where was
That's it.
Where was the parking lot?
Move the fucking speeder.
Yeah, where's the
Toss the valet the keys. It's a fucking casino.
Yeah, right.
Are you telling me there's no valet? Like, hey, bro, here, move it yourself.
There's no parking lot?
I find it highly hard to believe.
Right. You were in that big of a hurry?
Even if you were, there's always a valet at a casino.
Yeah.
Always.
Yes, always.
Especially a casino of that stature.
Yes, right.
You
Most
could
definitely.
very easily tip a guy a Finsky and be like, "Here you go, guy. Here's my speeder. Put it next to the Lamborghini."
Yeah, right.
Next to Justin Theroux's got a llama over there. He's put it next to that thing.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. That was my only. The casino and the Finn story was really my only gripe with it.
Yeah,
the rest of it, I felt was.
I liked it.
It was good.
Right. I think you should definitely see this movie in theaters.
Oh my God, yes. I was, and here's something I will say. I think you should see it in 3D.
Oh, I don't like 3D, but that's
No?
just a personal choice.
See, I've heard. I don't have personal experience, but I have heard that 2D is darker and muddier.
I liked it. It was fun. I had a crystal image.
Okay, where'd you go?
I went to the AMC in Braintree.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah, so it was fine.
Okay, so fair enough. Fair fucks. Go see it. Please
Yeah,
go see
definitely
it,
go check it
in
out.
theaters, because in the grand scope of things, it's a movie worth seeing in theaters.
Oh, absolutely.
I think these event type movies are absolutely worth being seen.
Yes.
And we will see you next week.
We will see you next week.
All
we'll
right.
be doing live on Facebook, I assume.
Hopefully.
We'll coordinate. We'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out when I get back from Disney.
Yeah, figure it out. Yeah.
Liam Stryker at Liam NAI, Mike Wendt at Mike Wendt. Of course, follow us on New Age Pop.
New Age Pop.
New Age Pop, and all over your podcasting networks. Whatever your favorite podcasting app is, search New Age Insiders, and you will find
And if we're not
us.
on there, tweet at me, and I'll put us on there.
Damn right. Bye-bye.